So, all right, everything looks to be good. Sides are correct, and Mantis will actually get the very first ban. G2 would use it on a Montaigne. That actually gives Mantis a bit of a benefit here.
A lot of information.
Because Mantis knows that a Montaigne ban might be coming out. Mantis will ban Glaz, though. Take him off the board. G2 very quick on theirs. Will be another Monty ban?
Probably.
Yes, it sure will.
So every single map that we have casted so far today has been Maestro and Mira.
Everyone.
Every single one. So are we going to see an upset to that formula? Yes, we are. Valkyrie is gone. G2, the ones to change the formula. I love it. Valkyrie eliminated. She's a very powerful operator. She effectively can force your opponent onto IQ, and the fact that Echo is gone as well means that IQ, while useful, will not be an essential pick for anyone in this match, or at least this map. So, good job. I like what we're seeing here. It is definitely a mix-up.
We could possibly still see an IQ for Mute.
It's just not essential.
Lesion. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Like when you've got an Echo in play and a Valkyrie to boot, like you need to bring an IQ.
The other thing too is that because you don't need to run a hard breacher on Coastline, you have a spot open for just about whatever you want. Bring a good gun, maybe bring some intel, who knows?
Yeah.
Right now, the soft destructive capabilities on G2 side of things are astonishing.
I mean, rightfully so.
And
in this situation.
And I mean, Goga's going to move on to Hibana. So there we go. We will actually see a hard breacher be rolled out from G2, something that teams kind of flip back and forth on.
I think having the hard breach is and not needing it is better than not having it and needing it. And there are some situations on this map where you do need a little bit of hard breach. Attacking Penthouse is a lot easier with hard breach.
And here's where the hard breach is actually going to come in quite handy. Just over by Hetty, you see the double reinforced walls on Blue Bar that lead into the office. Downstairs, you can use Hibana to open up that wall quite easily. You can also use the XKROS on the wall above, right where Sweet Black is reinforcing. It leads into Pink. Possibly put pressure because you're usually going to have somebody playing up in hookah or around hookah on the defensive side of things. So a good flex from G2 to take the Hibana, I think. And it'll certainly pay a lot greater dividends than going with a Thermite, for example, or a Maverick. And a lot of that is aided by the fact that Hibana's XKROS have a range to them.
They do. So it's going to be a defense of the double bar, but mostly held from above, or so it seems, as you've got a lot of roamers upstairs. Actually, right now, not a lot, just two. But a lot of utility commitment on the top floor. And so it can be a little bit deceptive, and it's likely going to prompt G2 to invest quite heavily themselves in taking upstairs. They have the sledge, so they're counting on being able to open up from above, use that hammer to open the floor, and thus the ceiling of the defenders. But they have to get control of above first. And they're not even going to save the XKROS for opening up the office from the south. They're just going to open up over by Pink. And I think that's a little bit, it's a heavy expense for G2, but I understand why they're doing it, and if they can get top 4 control from it without losing too many bodies, it'll be worth.
There's 2 bodies, of which are currently in hookah. That was information that G2 had at their disposal. But Jonas, what are you doing? There you go. Neilio will start things off, takes out Fabi, and he's playing inside a hookah. That's the Dokkaebi that gets cut off of the wire, just by the double window. Look at this, Kanto just walks right in, reunited with the old familiar on the Ash. He'll just punish Sweet Black. And unless G2 is doing adequate drone work, hookah still very much has 2 bodies in it. And they're just relaxing. Prone currently waiting as Pengu holds the angle towards the back of hookah.
G2 is well aware of the position of these 2 defenders, and they're just trying to isolate them and strangle them out of that position. Dropdown could be opened up and they could rotate back, and it looks like they have done exactly that. It probably impacted it and ran away. So yeah, a huge amount of time being wasted here from the defense, and that's a great job. G2 has yet to drone out hookah following that rotation, and they have no idea that there's no one left in that position. They still think there might be bodies there.
I wonder how many...
Looks like they've figured it out.
I wonder how much of this just simply has to do with the fact that these Mute Jammers have been able to claim so many different drones here. Beautiful shot from Nova onto Jonas, all the way downstairs heading in towards security. As Pengu's going to sledge away at the ceiling, trying to take as much of the resource that is so indispensable to the defenders away from them. Hetty picks up a kill for Mantis as well, so that'll be an even larger lead, holding it at a 4v2 as Hetty claims a second soul, and that's going to be Kanto Raketti. leaving just Pengu upstairs, who will now have to push in towards the site with only 30 seconds to go. Nobody playing on the doorway. He'll take out the alibi clone. He doesn't have that diffuser. It's going to have to be a pure frag fest here. But Pengu's not going to look the right way. There's 2 bodies playing underneath the drop hatch. Pengu's life expectancy is roughly 3 seconds, and he doesn't even quite make it that far. Very first round's going to go to Mantis on a good defense of the double bars.
So, as we saw in map number 1, a very decisive early win for Mantis. And it's no longer surprising to see. Great job for them. I really like the way that they held that top floor. They invested their players in all the right positions, and once they read that they no longer needed to be upstairs, they rotated back. They left themselves a rotation, and G2 were unaware of that rotation for a solid 10, 20 seconds, wasting a lot of time.
Ultimately, once again, just too much patience from G2. That's it. They need to be quicker, and once it might take them a couple rounds, but once they are able to figure out that defense or figure out the attack, they can take that ground away from their opponents. They do much better.
Parker, Mantis is running anti-meta. On Clubhouse, they get aggressive. On Coastline, they play passive. They're running anti-meta, and it's cool to see. But as you said, eventually G2 will figure it out. And last time, we didn't see Mantis be able to adjust after they were figured out. And it ended up, yeah, it was a long match. But as soon as G2 were like, oh, hang on, we just need to do this to counter the way they're playing, they were able to adjust. And we saw it happen. I think it was just after, I could be wrong about this. I want to say it was just a little bit after Shaz called his timeout, actually. When G2 started to realize, hey, yeah, if we just get aggressive, play into Mantis' playstyle, then we'll be able to make it happen. Who knows, though? That's just speculation. I can't actually recall. Overall, yeah, a very passive roam there from Mantis, and it ended up wasting so much time that G2, when they rotated to attack the site, they felt rushed, I had to assume. I mean, they lost a lot of odd fights as well. Yeah. Oh, and no droning into office. Remember when we saw the Zofia coming from security? Yes. No droning. That's what we saw from Mantis. Yeah, from G2 as well.
So, Fabian will get revenge. This time, the very first kill will go in favor of G2. He loses exactly half his HP in the altercation.
He ran out on him.
But he'll walk away, and there goes Sweet Black, and with him, all of the goo mines as well. Nelio's position being given away all the way down by 90, over towards the theater doorway. Nelio doesn't actually take any damage as Kanto is being fed that information. Kanto doesn't have an ACOG available to him, but the Doc does, and say goodbye. Fabian tries to rush on in, and under drone, Nelio still perseveres. It's the Doc playing all the way over by the window, looking out towards the main doorway. Will end up prevailing. All these different punch holes will provide him just a tiny glimpse down in towards the theater side of things, as well as the penthouse side of things. There goes a mirror window. If the Doc pops up at any opportunity, oh! My, Kanto Raketti says bye to Nelio. Doc, goodbye.
What a flick there. And it looks like we're seeing Mantis change gears again. Very aggressive round here so far. I mean, we saw Sweet Black get taken out by Fabian because he was running out. He vaulted, it seemed, out of the main stairs window. That's so odd. Now, it's overall put G2 in a better position. The fact that they've been able to get these kills. But there's potential for a comeback here quite easily for Mantis. They've got some players in really crucial spots. Nova does not have a C4 any longer, but he's playing in main lobby. He has just been spotted out, it seems. Kanto Raketti, aware of his position now, is going to try and make a play for him. He has flashes, but it's not going to need them as Jonas will take out Nova because the Pulse was trying to rotate. Bad call there for Nova. And now it's going to force adjustment to the anchors as they have to account for the main lobby. Envy is actually not anchoring. He's playing in Sunrise Bar, but he could get a lot of value out of this position using this punch hole.
Needs to be really patient. A beautiful shot to eliminate Zofia of Jonas. But he's going to have to get back in and try to stop the plant, which he can't do. G2's in the midst of getting that diffuser down, and they'll walk away with it after a very early kill from Fabian. Leads to an avalanche of sorts, and they'll equalize. Both teams being at 1 for the time being.
All right, so Kitchen here. Again, for Mantis. They're doubling down. It's dangerous. I mean, not unheard of, not crazy, just dangerous. The way that round played out, I think it was a lot of bad calls being made by Mantis. That run out, for example, from the Legion of Sweet Black, I have no idea what the heck he was thinking. I mean, that vault, if you commit to the vault, there's no way you're making it back into the building. No universe do you make it back to front door without being punished. So even if he had gotten the kill on Fabian, which he didn't, it would have been a 1-for-1. And I'm really, really confused as to why he made that decision. And then, following that, Nilio got the kill upstairs. Yes, he denied Fabian entry into the main staircase from repelling, but then he kept on the angle play upstairs and was able to be refragged because of that. We saw the pulse in main lobby, lingering. No C4 in hand, which means he can't utilize the stop destruction. Why not just go back to anchor and support your teammates? You've even got MB Taylor playing by Sunrise Bar. He's waiting for someone to be in main lobby so he can get a baited kill. I don't know, it just seemed like poor coordination from Mantis, poor decision making as well, and G2 were like, hell yeah, we'll take it.
Heck yeah, Michael.
Oh, excuse me, I suppose.
What do we say about swears, Michael?
All right.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
So we'll head back to the kitchen, as you noted, and it's even more aggressiveness, but Fabian just shreds Nova. It's only a bullet or two that it took. Jonas gets down, Kanto's there. Envy gets felled, and G2 finds 2 kills in the first 20 seconds. A rapid pace gets set by the European team to eliminate 2 of the Korean Mantis FPS. Looks like an impact might have been opened up, or no, rather. It's going to be an explosive round from the attackers. Nilio peeks, and he has a stim pistol at his disposal. Try to heal himself right back up. It's not too far away from the mirror window, but look at all these bodies well off site for Mantis FPS, Michael. It's half of the map now on that main floor being controlled by G2. It also looked like Sweet Black was playing upstairs, so this is very spread out. At some point, Mantis is going to have to realize they need to get in and get closer. Hetty shreds through Pengu, but Hetty is downed, and Goga, in the midst of getting a plant down, will be successful. Say goodbye to Hetty, the last of him finished off. And we are barely a minute and a half into this round with Sweet Black in a 1v4. It's looking like yet another closeout for G2 here, as the Legion will need to head back to the kitchen and drop down. Now Fabian and Goga both low on HP. Jonas lost a little as well, but it's very easy for G2 just to hold the couple places where you need to drop, one of which being main lobby, and G2 will take their second round.
So there's not much to say about that. Again, you said it. Very aggressive play from Mantis FPS, and as soon as Fabian got that early pick, they made the call, hey, we're up a man, let's get aggressive. They got aggressive, and well, following that aggression, G2 were able to string some kills together and take the round. I mean, there was a fight that was put up by Mantis. If you look back, G2 lost a lot of HP in those engagements. But it didn't matter in the end, as the frags kept rolling in for G2.
Tactical timeout here for Mantis. That's a very early timeout.
I don't think it's a terrible thing, though.
I don't think it's terrible either.
I think it's a good call.
It's very early.
Yeah, it is early, but they've been forced into it. That last round was too decisive to not tactical pause after.
Yeah.
If they allow the ball to keep rolling, it's going to be really tricky for Mantis to win this.
Also worth noting that they've only won 2 rounds since round number 9 of Clubhouse.
It's true.
So
yeah, it's been a while.
It's not even just this game. It might be about regaining composure overall. And speaking of not this game, Michael, we have a result for you from our other match occurring right now on the Rainbow6 Bravo channel. By a score of 2-0, Team Empire will advance and face off against Space Station Gaming tomorrow, while Rogue and Immortals will meet head-on, the loser of which goes home.
That is really something, too, because Immortals is no slouch. They are a fearsome team. The fact that Empire has managed to 2-0 them, and I know it was a close match, round counts coming really, really close, but still, that is very impressive. A statement made by Empire, to be sure. So, here in this match, G2, speaking of statements, that last round certainly was one. It was just G2, G2, G2. And Mantis didn't even show up to the round. It was the most one-sided round I think we've seen in this series so far.
It was a lockout.
Yeah, it was a lockout. Yeah.
But a lot of that also was how disjointed Mantis was.
True, true.
Very similar to what we saw at G2 when G2 was on defense on Clubhouse, a number of rounds where they were just so far removed from each other. Nowhere near close enough to be able to help one another. Obviously, that's a problem. G2 are usually a team who are so good for trades. Mantis, obviously a team of high enough caliber to be able to understand how trades and all of that work, but they've been far too separated so far on Coastline. I'm interested to see how it works on their attack, because I have a feeling we're going to see a very aggressive defense from G2, as G2 has been bringing the fire on attack so far.
So, already into main lobby is Cantor Raketti. He's droning for himself, but he's got others droning other hallways. So this is decent drone efficiency here from G2, and they've adjusted their setup here. They're actually just streaking straight into office from the south, using their hard destruction there. Last time they attacked under the double bar, it was the first round, and Mantis were able to take it because G2 tried to clear from the top down. It did not work out very well. So G2 have decided to adjust their strategy.
Grenade gets just hucked right in. I'm actually kind of surprised. It looked like from the silhouettes that it should have been able to land there and maybe do some damage. It went off.
Yeah.
But here's the execute. G2 were so quick last time around. Goga fearless, but 2 members of G2 will fall. We'll see if they'll stick through it. As you say goodbye to Jonas. Oh, Goga comes right off the plant and tears Hetty to smithereens. It's just Fabian and Kanto in a 2v3. One body is prone on behalf of Mantis just by that diffuser. And here comes the logic bomb. Still so much utility. Fabian still has another logic bomb available to be able to chain these together and alert him as to when one member of Mantis will come nearby. He'll just sit in a really nice spot with nobody able to push him. Say goodbye to the mute. Kanto takes out Sweet Black. And Fabian's still biding his time. There come the pings, and oh! Fabian gets one. Kanto, one of his own. And it's 3 in a row. That tactical timeout might have centered Mantis a little bit, but overall, it's still a G2 round.
As have the last couple been, including this one, a few in fact. Very impressive stringing these together for G2. That last round was based purely on the objective play from G2. They did not relent, taking into blue bar, focused entirely on getting that diffuser down. The fact that Goga was able to get it down under cover of smoke, I'm really amazed he wasn't denied. The alibi was right up against him and just couldn't make it happen. Truly an odd situation there for Mantis. Not enough denial in play, and that's curious. I mean, we've got Maestro left unbanned. He was being played in that round. The Evil Eye not useful enough, I suppose, as it was not used to deny the plant, which is its primary purpose when it all comes down to it.
Sweet Black was one of the unsung heroes of that previous matchup. He's yet to find the scoreboard this time around.
Yep.
With it, the rest of his team have had to carry a little bit extra weight, but outside of that, I don't think fragging potential has really been the issue that's been plaguing Mantis at all so far. It just really
Utility and denial.
Utility denial, not improper use of the utility.
Yeah.
I mean, even look at what's being brought right now. An alibi on coastline, okay, interesting enough.
5 seconds
You've got a Legion there, be able to slow everything down. If Nova dies early, there goes all of your information. Now keep in mind that Valk and Echo are both banned, and it doesn't look like a Maestro was a very comfortable pick for Mantis, especially not in that previous round at all. Go with the Italian operator instead, I guess.
I think it's the right pick, but I think you're right as well that it wasn't a comfortable pick because it did not work out very well. Cantor Raketti with an aggressive play into Kitchen, but he's spotted out by the pulse sensor. But oh, what an Ash charge. That's going to catch one person off guard. Hetty goes down without a fight. Poor positioning there from the alibi, and an easy frag for Cantor Raketti. And the diffuser is being planted in default spot right now. The diffuser going down. Cantor Raketti acting as a decoy. And the diffuser is on the floor, ticking away. Neilio will get the first kill for his team, but Goga takes out Neilio at the Sunrise Bar. And also at the Sunrise Bar is Jonas, who has full control of this site in the post plant. Gas canister's going to force him to rotate, but it's probably not going to matter. Nova gets Jonas. Another for Nova. That's 2 for him. Goga gets 2 for himself, though, and it's a back and forth, leaving just Envy Taylor as the last defender. Nowhere near the diffuser, and I don't think he even has time to get to it. It'll be around for G2 regardless of the result of these engagements, but it could be an easy 2K for Envy Taylor if he plays it right. Not the case. Fabian shuts him out. G2, with a focus on planting the diffuser, will win 4 rounds in a row.
This is once again Mantis playing too far off site, and they're getting bit by it. G2 is wisely read, hey, they're only keeping 2 bodies on site, and they're not watching them. If we can get an opening pick onto one of them, we can just walk right in and plant. And Goga is a Spanish robot sent from another time and another dimension to prove that you can be the most efficient at getting the diffuser down. And I feel like every single round he is trying to break his record for fastest plant against Mantis FPS. Because it took 25 seconds, and he's already got the gosh darn diffuser on the ground.
I just think that because of the aggression from Mantis and their want to take fights, they're leaving themselves way too exposed. Way too exposed. And it's really easy for G2 to read into that and be like, hey, no one's defending the site. Not really. As soon as Kantoraketti took out that player by sandwich using the Ash Charge, Sunrise Bar was the only obstacle. Sunrise Bar was looking backwards.
I feel like Goga's going to find a way to plant the diffuser in under 7 seconds at some point with the rate that he's going. He's going to be able to bend the diffuse timer.
I don't even think anyone was playing Sunrise Bar on the defense. I think that Jonas had full control of that, actually. He pushed in there really quickly.
No, Sunrise Bar was the pick that Kanto got.
And then Jonas was in right after.
So Mantis had Nova playing on the stairs, a cool vibe stairs. They had Nelio playing by the soft wall. Kanto literally got a ping. He used his breaching round, blew open the wall, killed Nelio, and then Nova had to fall off the stairs, and Goga just walked right in and planted.
Yeah, no, so that wasn't Sunrise Bar. That was Sandwich. I'm talking about like the behind the actual bar. So there was nobody.
Nobody was tending bar.
Yeah, there was nobody. There was nobody behind the actual Sunrise Bar, and that's a really crucial anchor position. It denies default. Jonas was able to push his way in there because Kantoraketti got the player on Sandwich. And yeah, it was just a really bad setup from Mantis. And here we go. Tarp's being used again. Hetty's going to eat a lot of damage. Kantoraketti ate a little bit himself, but he's got the rifle against an SMG. At this distance, it's going to be a huge advantage for Kanto.
This is probably the most dominant game that we've seen from G2 so far, as Jonas trying to find out where all the intel is with the IQ, but will instead use the pistol to find out where Hetty is.
Yeah, and take him out of the equation. Hetty was on low HP, so it would probably be like 1 or 2 shots through that floor using his gadget. It's a down here, but it's being called out and marked as well. There could be someone to punish this. Pangu takes out Nova, so there's the one to pick up his teammate. Actually, that's the one who got picked up, and Goga will also take out Nelio. Sweet Black able to refrag onto Goga, but still disadvantage to Mantis as Kantoraketti walks into the hallway. Sweet Black will go down, caught on an off angle. And it's just Envy Taylor in a 1 versus 4, and look at that, diffuser being planted. Fabian's going to shut down Envy Taylor before the diffuser can even go down. A very one-sided round, and one of many here on Coastline.
Very kind of G2 to give the diffuser to Kanto because they figured that Goga was doing too efficient a job.
Yes, too many diffuse plants for Goga.
Like, Goga, just take the rest of the night off.
Yeah, you can go ahead
Give
and
it
frag.
to Kanto.
Yeah.
Yeah. They switch jobs, essentially.
So, clearly there's a distinct focus here on the objective for G2, and it is causing Mantis a whole lot of pain in the way that they're positioning themselves. Because it just seems like every single round, Mantis is getting caught off guard. Luckily for Mantis, it's the second half now.
G2 just seemed to set a faster pace every single round. They were a little bit sluggish on the double bars the very first time they went there and attacked there, and they got caught out, and Mantis read it. And it's funny because it was when I think back to that Pro League interview we did when ENCE beat G2. We spoke to Wilkie, and Wilkie from ENCE said, "We know that if we give G2 the appropriate amount of time to set up, they will pick us off 1 by 1 and punish us." Which is actually what Mantis does when G2 takes too long. But when G2 just completely decides to bulldoze into the site, Mantis has zero answer for it, and it must feel like they're getting bombed from outer space because they're always, what's the word even for it? They're just
stranded,
getting
caught off, cut off from the rest of their team, isolated.
Yeah, it's
executed after that
They're trying to salvage a round by getting the final members of their team that are so far off site back in. The G2's just saying, "No, we'll play flank watch. We'll be fine."
Yeah,
thanks for the control.
They're cutting out the flanks with relative ease, and by they, of course, I mean G2. Of course, this is the second half now, so that's not going to happen anymore. But you end a half 5-1. You expect to win the map. And keep in mind, as you can see at the top of your screen, G2 have already won map number 1. Which means if they take this, That's it.
Yep.
Mantis go down to the loser bracket, and G2 go forward in the winner bracket.
Keep in mind that the Liquid Mocket match hasn't even started yet.
Yeah. And then after this one on stream A, we have EG versus Lestream.
From my understanding, it will be Blue and Stokes casting the EG Lestream matchup. So this is,
Well, at least on this stream.
from my understanding, this is going to be our final match of the day, you and I, Michael.
We'll find out when we find out.
We'll find out when we find out.
Yeah. Cantor Kitty has downed somebody,
Neilio is down.
but he doesn't know it because there are no point notifications in Pro League or any competitive format.
That's a tough shot to make.
Oh, 2 for MV Taylor. Fabian and Jonas go down, and this could be a great recovery for Mantis FPS.
There's a run out for Pengu, just ready and waiting. It doesn't appear that there's a Claymore down there, so this could be very easy for the Jaeger to come on up, but he's going to have to hurry. Kanto Ricchetти flirting around with that frag grenade as it sails over top of him, and he is just under so much fire.
Wow.
Pengu falls off, realizing that that is not a smart idea, and will instead head up to Cool Vibe Stairs. Goga down below on the pulse. Not usual to see Goga on the pulse. It's usually Jonas's role.
True. Nice kill there from Pengu as he takes out Sweet Black. Excellent angle play and game sense to get that kill. Goes back to the blue stairs. Dangerous, but it might pay off. Goga takes out Nova as well. G2 is recovering in this round. They have a good position to bring this back, with Neilio on low HP especially.
And a pretty decent gun in the hands of Pengu. Maybe not the greatest in the UMP of Goga, but still serviceable. There's still a Nitro cell available for Goga as well, so there it goes. It'll sail on out, but he looks the wrong way. No, the Jackal NV Taylor is a perfect opportunity, and he'll get baited so hard. Say goodbye, Goga. Pengu will be required to get the rest of the kills on this round, but there's Neilio inside of the courtyard as the diffuser starts to go down, and it's Mantis FPS grabbing round number 7 to keep themselves in this fight, despite a massive gulf between the two teams. They're gonna need more rounds like that, as quick of a pace as possible, and all of it off of the back of NV Taylor's good Jackal play to start the round.
Yeah, you said it right. I mean, I do think that that attack looked a lot better than any of Mantis's defenses. Mantis was struggling on that first half. But at the same time, it was off the back, as you said, of 2 frags early for NV Taylor. The fact that he's able to put those 2 together gave such a man advantage to Mantis FPS that they would have had to tried really hard to lose at that point. And they didn't. They focused up, isolated the site, took out Goga, the solo anchor, and once they had control, started going for the plant. At that point, even if Pengu had managed to get the frags by main lobby, he probably would have struggled to get back into sight. So it's a difficult prospect on the clutch. Overall, a good round there for Mantis. And if they can put more of those attacks on the board, then this might be potentially a map number 3. But it's too early to call, to be honest. And here's the lowdown of it. G2 adjust, man.
Yes.
They adjust, they adapt, they figure out what you're doing, and they fix the problem before it can cascade into a map win. And that's why we saw the last map go 8-6, but 8-6 in G2's favor. Mantis were looking so good for so long, but G2 corrected the course, and they figured out how to do this map as well, at least on the attacking side. Now, I'm sure, given time and a few rounds, a few stumbles, G2 will figure out how to defend it as well.
Kanto Ricchetti sees the Jackal, but cannot land all the shots. NV Taylor surviving with 50% of his HP, as Kanto will head back inside. Upstairs, it's by Aqua. It's a risky gamble. Kanto almost looked like he was about to get thwarted by the door in the way that the wooden barricade had been broken open, but he's able to get back in safely, and that C70 is a very powerful gun. We know from the previous round when NV Taylor was able to get 3 kills with him. Hetty will start things off for us by picking off Pengu, and that's the Maestro down. A pretty crucial operator that you need through the latter half of a round. Not exactly certain how Pengu was playing that one to get taken out of the fray so early.
You gotta hope that he had positioned his evil eyes so they will be useful in terms of information, but it's unlikely considering how early he got picked. An engagement by the main door. You can see Fabian's gonna eat a little bit of damage there. Not gonna dish any out to Nova. His position now known. He can be isolated and executed quite easily by these attackers. We'll have to find out though. That was a big whoops, but he can correct it quite easily. Not a huge deal.
He'll make that one work.
Yeah.
And he'll just anchor down the main doorway and wait so patiently.
Ooh, could have been an easy kill there for Sweet Black, but he's gonna miss the shot. Unfortunate is the word, and would have been oh so powerful had he got that pick.
Keep in mind, we're back down at Kitchen yet again, and this is much slower in terms of the way that we see these two teams playing it. But a window will get opened up, and almost landing the shots is Goga as the plant is fallen off. Fabian is downed, and Jonas will have to come to the rescue. Just sees the shoulder of the Hibana, able to control it quite well as Sweet Black takes out Goga. And, well, it's a 4v2 in Mantis' favor. Kanto sustaining some damage, but it's full control for Mantis now, as they hold a number of different avenues in towards the site. Jonas doesn't realize that there's a body right behind him. Kanto finishes off Nelio, and Jonas with his back turned. That's a freebie for Hetty. Tries to sick the diffuser, realizing he's in the open, and he'll come off of it. Kanto should be able to hear the plant going down, and he'll hop on up. Diffuser goes down successfully, and Kanto's just looking the wrong way again, playing around the door, sees the Zofia, and makes quick work, but there's Envy Taylor yet again. And Mantis FPS showing signs of life on attack as they now have 2 in a row. I'd imagine that we're not going to see another kitchen defense from G2, at least for the foreseeable future, after failing to defend it twice.
Yeah, you could rest assured that's a solid no. I don't imagine G2 going there once more, and those were very decisive rounds for Mantis FPS, I gotta say. They were able to drone out, isolate, and execute all of the roamers before hitting the site. And sure, yeah, there were some late roamers from G2 who adjusted to try and compensate, but it was, in the end, not the right call, I believe, as the anchors, or the lack thereof, were the serious flaw for G2. Now it's going to be the double bar here, being brought as the 3rd bomb site, 2nd in terms of what's been played in. Total, though, we saw 2 kitchen defenses just prior to this, and both of them, again, failures for G2. We are actually dangerously close to an even round count. Anything is possible, and considering how the attacks have been going for Mantis FPS, assuming that wasn't just them being exceptionally good at attacking kitchen, I would imagine that G2 is going to be able, or well, rather, Mantis is going to be able to bring this back, and G2 is going to struggle a little bit. We'll see.
10 seconds left.
G2 has not had the same lethality that they had when they were on attack, that's for sure.
5 seconds left.
This can deny default if it's not spotted and you open the wall, I suppose.
I was gonna say, Pengu was the very first pick that Mantis got in that previous round.
True, true.
Not only do you lose the Alda, but you also lose the Evil Eyes, as you mentioned, and something that a lot of newer viewers and new players to this game don't actually know is that when a Maestro dies, the Evil Eyes stay in the exact location they were in before.
He's the only one who can move.
Correct. So if you are in a spot where your Evil Eyes are looking a certain way and you die a little bit unexpectedly, then those Evil Eyes are essentially useless to your team.
That one, for example, was placed looking to a corner.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that you go on there and you have them looking in the right direction. Kanto Raketti will feast upon Sweet Black. Down goes the buck, and the only set of frag grenades from Mantis will also be gone. Sweet Black was able to net a kill with that grenade last round, and of course has tons of destructibility with that skeleton key.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the first time that G2 is going to get the first early pick here in a defensive round, and that is huge for them.
Yes. Nelio and Kanto Raketti will exchange some words over top of the kitchen ceilings. Obviously, Kanto not a big fan of the way that Nelio is reshaping the place in his image. SMG-12 has a bit more recoil than the K1A does. And trying to navigate those metal bars, the SMG-12 in hand, can be quite difficult. A beautiful shot from Envy as he just eliminates Kanto, playing by bathroom door.
Talk about clean shots there, and he has been landing them. Envy Taylor, an excellent gunplay player. Now, he's going to try and push into security. He's got the footprints, and he's going to scan them.
Yes.
Fabian now position given away. He's got the support of Jonas, though. So if the push comes out from the Jackal, it will likely be to Envy's death.
This is a great play here. Envy knows the track is coming out, and he's going to push right in. And Envy walks away with that one onto Jonas, which means Pengu will have to go for the run out. Hetty takes out Fabian, and G2 have lost all momentum that they had through that first half of the game. They took a commanding 5-1 lead. Just over a minute to go. This is great timing for Mantis. Goga doesn't have a very large magazine in that vector. He'll take out Nelio, but Nova is there, and Mantis starting a streak of their own. It was 5-1. It's now 5-4. G2 still leads. It's not a comfortable one at that, and it narrows. Oh boy, does it narrow.
Yeah, Mantis are looking absolutely dominant on attack, I gotta be honest. And it's the same thing we were seeing from G2 in their half. Just not quite as dominant. I will say that. Those G2 attack rounds were something else. But G2 has come a little bit close here some of these rounds. They did get an early pick in that one just now. And it almost looked like they might be able to push us onto match point, but not the case. They're going to go to double bar again. So this is the second time that G2 will lose a site and go to it once more. Not going to be jumping from site to site, trying their best to lock these things out. And
Many bombs as they can.
I guess I understand. If they're trying their, the strategy that they prepared for the site, they feel like they made a mistake that could be easily corrected. Cantor Keddy is fragging a whole lot more in this match than he had in the previous one, and that's huge for G2. It's a big part of why they had so much success on attack.
Most of those kills came on attack.
Yes, exactly.
And the fall off in all of G2's fragging ability over the latter half of this match so far has really been the story.
Yeah.
They are being almost too aggressive, which is weird because there's that perfect blend, right, of where you want to be aggressive, but then you don't want to be too aggressive. So, just something to keep in mind. Kanto did open things up early in the previous round with that pick onto the buck of Sweet Black. Sweet Black off of the buck now, and no frag grenades will be in the hands of any member of Mantis FPS. It's a bit strange, because G2 haven't really run a Jaeger that much. We saw Pengu on a Jaeger once. But there's really not that much to stop your throwables, your projectiles. And that would go quite far, especially without Mantis does tend to land those frag grenades effectively on both Clubhouse as well now through Coastline.
Yeah. I mean, we also have, if we're talking about that, we also have a Ying available, potentially be a very useful operator, especially considering how aggressive these teams have been. But no, actually, scratch that. With the way that both of these teams have been playing, I don't think anyone's going to allow a Ying to set themselves up. And yeah, it can be really useful to shut down the aggression from the defenders, but sometimes just a gun is better in those scenarios.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I can see why it's not being played.
Envy Taylor has been the absolute star of his team's attack so far through these 3 rounds, and he's going to put quite a bit of pressure onto Fabian, who is leading Envy Taylor down the primrose path with 3 goo mines inside of security, as Legion will just simply persist and likely try to hold down that spot. There you go. You can see the goo mines on the ground, which means that Envy Taylor will stumble into 30 damage if he's not paying attention. We'll also slow him down, and most importantly, we'll give Fabian the information that he needs to be able to pounce on the Jackal. But there was a mute playing in there with a shotgun last time of Jonas, and it still wasn't able to stop Envy Taylor. Jonas, speaking of, gets found out by Nova, and the Type 89 will be too much for the mute to handle, and the very first kill will take 90 seconds in what is one of our slowest rounds between these 2 teams.
Absolutely right. It's been a lot of fast attacks here, but Mantis getting so close to potentially equalizing the round count, and they'll slow down.
It's 4 goo mines now.
Fabian's doing his best, and he's going to get phone called here, jackal tracked, pardon me, inside of security. He's losing a lot of HP every single time he peeks, but he's dishing out some damage as well.
It's a good distraction there. As off-site, Goga takes out Nova, and Kanto coming back up towards Hookah. Could possibly go for a flank as well. Nelio is downed. Goga will finish him off, and the Spaniard, playing as the Spanish operator, finds 2 so far. Hetty should be able to win this fight, but no! Goga, what a beautiful shot! All the way from 2 separate rooms, leaving just Sweet Black and Envy, who are both hot on the heels of Fabian. As Elysian is playing inside of Office now. Trying to make quick work, but there's Sweet Black eliminating Fabian. Kanto will jump on Envy Taylor, and it looks like it's going to be match point in favor of G2 unless Sweet Black can perform some miracles. 20 seconds inside of luggage, miles away from the diffuser, or might as well be. Head over towards Aqua's side of things. It's not going to be much contest now on that diffuser, but Sweet Black will pick it up, and every single member of G2 has fallen off. All you need to do is just simply bleed out the clock. It's the double bars, and Goga will pick up yet another kill. An incredible round from the anchor play of G2, and they will now move themselves to match point. Match point, 1 round away.
Match point, series point, so very close to just ending it all. It has been a valiant effort at the comeback here from Mantis, and there is still potential for OT. Just 2 rounds, of course, to bring it back. That last round was quite interesting. One of the slowest ones we've seen, as we mentioned earlier. Mantis slowed down their attack substantially. Inside of security, Fabian was able to delay for a long time. Legion traps working out to his favor in that regard. And then falling back from server. It was an easy holdout on that pretty much that bottleneck for Fabian inside the South office. Nobody from Mantis decided to rotate and come from a different angle. You can pressure South office from, well, the South door, but no one from Mantis decided to do that. Because of that, Fabian was able to play quite easily in that position and hold out by himself. I mean, it's a bottleneck. From security to office.
I think more finger pointing needs to go towards how two people were unable to flush a Mira out of hookah with only a singular rotate hole available.
I mean, that's certainly something to be said, but at the same time, I think if we're really going to be finger pointing, I would say it's a lack of focus from the attack from Mantis. They were trying to do too many things all at once.
10 seconds to insertion.
There was potential for them to, yeah, okay, clear the top floor or clear the security into South office. Either way, though, they probably should have tried to accomplish one before going for the other. Got a little too distracted.
I could have sworn we were going to see a spawn peek here from Goga. I wanted one. I really did want to see if there would be a spawn peek from Goga. He might actually be looking that way if they punched out the panels on the door, but no, he's just going to play over in pink and be able to give information to the rest of his team. Do or die for Mantis, who I think have impressed a lot more people than we expected so far.
Yeah.
It's a very back and forth contest. And certainly, a couple rounds go a little differently. And this could be a 2-0 for Mantis. Not inconceivable to think, but you make G2 basically play with their backs against the wall. That's a pretty big accomplishment in and of itself. This is obviously going to spell trouble for the loser of the Mocket Liquid match, as that one is going to be up next on the Bravo stream. Envy Taylor, a great read on Fabian, and I think that's a pretty puzzling one for the Swedish player who will be felt. Envy Taylor continues on his warpath so far, doing his damnedest to keep his team in this fight.
Darndest, Parker.
You are absolutely right, Michael.
So, we are now 1-1 on the bad words tally, and this match could potentially go 1-1 if Mantis FPS are able to bring it back. Nova is looking for the fight, and he will miss the shots that are also necessary. Jonas gets away, still alive. Evil Eye inside of VIP, going to start zapping away, but Tengu not going to waste it, just trying to distract his enemy. Again, a very slow round here from Mantis FPS. Unusual to see. Not the end of the world, though. They have the man advantage, so this could easily still be their round. The IQ is going to be doing a lot of work,
Bomb located by
protecting those electronics and eliminating them. Some pretty poor droning, once again, from Mantis. They don't know that 90 is clear, as is evident thanks to that pre-fire from Sweet Black. But he's going to be droning into luggage at least.
Yeah, there's a lot of information here that really could be relayed Mantis' side of things that would be helping them be able to push. It's also going to be the first defensive hookah that we see from G2, and hookah does actually have a very high win rate for the defenders.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity just based on sight alone. There's some good drone work. Could be the mute that's actually thwarting this, but Nelio pushing all the way up to 90, as you mentioned. It was clear. Free and clear, actually. There's a bulletproof camera on the reinforced wall, which you could possibly see some explosives take out. Sophia doesn't have any available.
Ash does.
Ash does. Still has a breaching round available if need be. Pengu will be able to look all the way down to luggage. He's going to get hit with one of those concussive blasts. There's still one left in the lifeline tube from Hetty. And he'll sail on out and it will find its target. Proximity based as there's two bodies looking to try to take out the Maestro. But if you've got a gun in your hands that can shred through multiple opponents, it's going to be the Alda. Oh, looking for one. It's a volley as G2 picks up 3 kills. And Hetty and Sweet Black will need to keep this even. Goga takes out one, and there he goes. Jonas with the final kill. And they survive an absolute scare as they tip their hats to their Korean counterparts. Mantis FPS come up just short. And G2 will play the victor between Liquid and Mocket tomorrow, greeting their newest addition to the coaching roster in Sua, as they can take a sigh of relief after how close that one was.
I think sigh of relief is